Here we are. Here we are. We're live.
We're
We are
live on
live. Hi,
Thursdays. What's for
Rachel.
dinner? Hi.
Welcome. Yes, May 21st. Wow. How's everything in your neck of the woods?
Well, if by neck of the woods you mean I'm in the woods, you're right. I'm in my trailer, as you can see, and we're away for the weekend camping. So,
Nice. How
in Central
fun.
Oregon. Yeah.
Can you in Central Oregon? Okay.
Mhm,
How are the
mhm.
mosquitoes this time of year?
Well, we just got here, so
Okay.
to
To be
be
determined.
determined. Yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. And also, I'm wondering if it will be a low mosquito year because it's such a low water moisture year. We don't have
Oh.
as much standing water because we didn't get as much snow, so we don't have as much
Hmm.
snow melt. So, yay for low mosquito, but boo for potential fire risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yes, one they do have unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, what kind of movement are you looking? Are you going on some hikes out there in the Central Oregon? Do you have some
We
hikes
don't have
planned?
Yeah, we don't have anything specifically planned. We're here for a concert. Um,
Oh.
but I know we will build it in because it's just too fun to not. It's we get here and we feel like moving. It's sunny, it's beautiful. There's always even just really nice walks to do. Um, so this isn't a hiking weekend per se, but that doesn't
Hmm.
mean we're not going to do it because we always do.
Yes. How fun. That's great. It's the weather's been just so inviting just to stay it says, come outside, come outside. It has been so, at the end of the day, I'm looking at my step counter on my phone or my
Yeah.
watch, and it is not hard to get more than 10,000 steps. It's just not
Mhm.
hard walking around. Yeah.
Eh,
Not
You know,
hard for me.
it's
I mean,
interesting.
around here.
Yeah. It's one thing to do an intentional movement to get the steps, but if we just
Mhm.
move more, I think it's surprising. My husband yesterday got more steps than I did, and we were trying to figure out how. He went to the store. He ran a couple errands. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you've got a couple thousand more steps, and it doesn't feel
Mhm.
like, movement or like
Right.
exercise. And yet those
Yeah.
kinds of things. So if you're piddling in your garden and then you're walking over to the garage and then you're walking to your man, if you're intentionally just up more, the steps add up
Mhm.
quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mean to say it's easier for me or whatever. I guess maybe I'm looking at across the street. Kenny's made a little park over there, and if I want to go find a tool, I have to walk a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. That's the other strategy, right? Is to um, don't make things convenient.
Mm.
Make everything a little less convenient in your
Mhm.
world. Don't take a big load of things up the stairs. Take one thing and do it 5 times, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
intentionally go back to get the tool and then go
Yes.
back to
And then
use
put
it.
the tool away.
Right, right, go back and put it away, and all of that, it again, it adds up, and it can be kinda
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
best part about being outside for me is that I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere. I'm not running to,
Mhm.
the next thing. I'm just walking. I'm just
Yeah,
walking. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been talking about movement and and it has, it can be challenging. We all know that movement is
Mhm.
important. We've said before, it's like breathing. It's so important.
Right.
And sometimes it is harder to do. I mean, in the dead of winter for sure, for
Yeah,
me. But yeah, sometimes, and we know it. That there's a gap we've talked about between the
yeah,
knowing and the doing. Yeah, and we're trying
right.
to close that gap. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Because we know it's not enough to just know. Um,
Hmm.
the research, anecdotally, and just within our own experience, we know you can know everything you're supposed to do. You can have all the
Mhm.
knowledge, the reasons, you can know all the research, but it doesn't mean you'll do the thing. It
Mhm.
just means you know that you should or what's important about it. So then,
Mhm.
how do we bridge that gap? And we've talked about a couple different ways to bridge that gap.
Yeah, I think we talked about like just conceptualizing, visualizing doing whatever it is, the walking on the treadmill
Mhm.
or being at the gym. What would that feel like? What would it, yeah, kind of working it out in your mind first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, embodying it, maybe taking that first step and then really connecting with what it feels like in your body, and so that you can anticipate, you can embody, you can that mind body connection of what movement feels like and
Mhm.
what you do enjoy about it. Like you're talking about how
Mhm.
beautiful it is outside. When we're outside, if we take a moment to take that in. Wow, it feels good out here. Why does it feel good out here? Well, the air
Mhm.
feels good, that it smells nice. That cute little bird is doing something interesting. You know, if we sort of embody what it is, then our brain starts to build some memory around that and some
Yeah.
desire to
Mhm.
do it again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to kind of flesh out that word embody, when you say embody, I'm thinking that you're meaning like you're engaging all of your senses in that moment. So yeah, you're looking around, you're seeing that bird, you're smelling, you're
Mhm.
breathing, you're feeling. Yeah, so you're utilizing all your senses to notice, to raise the level of awareness. Yeah.
Yes.
That you
Yeah.
have. Yeah, another way I think you can do it is kind of remember when you've moved in the past that what felt good.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah, think about what you've enjoyed even as a kid, right?
Right. Right, going
Mhm.
back to, long forgotten things that you enjoyed. I was doing a group coaching recently, and someone mentioned they wanted us to start roller skating again,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
because they remembered roller skating when they were a kid and how
Mhm.
much fun it was,
Mhm.
and, you know, there's ways to explore things you used to do, but in a modified version. Maybe you don't
Mhm.
do it, maybe you're not in roller derby, but maybe you can, figure out some roller skating and you start slow, um, and if you love dance, maybe Zumba or a
Mm.
jazzercise type class could be a way
Mhm.
to kind of explore that.
Mhm.
There's lots of ways to kind of think back to what you really enjoyed, and come back to that memory of the embodied feeling. What did you love about it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Most people will connect a feeling of freedom or
Mhm.
of like with dance, that it's that freedom and expression of creativity. With bike
Yeah.
riding or roller skating, it's the wind in your hair, and
Mhm.
zooming
Mhm.
by things, and that's the speed at which you're moving. So, yeah,
Mhm.
connecting
Yeah.
back to what you loved.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, yeah, I think I've mentioned to you and on this in our little show here that I loved playing tennis and
Mhm,
yeah, and so in what I like the competition of it, I guess. I like
mhm.
that feeling that when you hit the tennis ball just right. I love the sound that makes the thwack, So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, so there's yeah, I'm remembering a lot of fun things about that. I also remember that my shoulders, they've been put through the ringer.
Mm,
So, yeah, I'm doing the first thing that can get me back to the court, which is strengthening my shoulders. So,
right.
yeah. Mhm.
And,
So, yeah.
as you described that, it's kind of like an identity. You have an
Mm,
identity in
mm,
tennis as a competitor, You like that type of competition. It's a little bit of
Mhm.
competition against the other team or the other person, but also a little bit of self-competition, like, you're
Mhm.
trying to improve your game. Can I hit it
Mhm.
just right?
Mhm.
There's a full identity wrapped up in there, that's tied to things that you enjoy, that feel good, that give you that
Mhm.
sense of mastery. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's also fun. It's also
Mhm.
community. You're with other people. You can't play
Right.
tennis by
Yeah.
yourself. This is at least one other person is with you doing that. Yeah. So there's an identity wrapped up in that.
Yeah, yeah, that's so important to think about identity. I am a person who moves, uh, who values moving or exercise and in a certain way, and so I want to live into that
Mhm.
identity or value of movement.
Right. Right. And this is kind of the fifth point we wanted to make in this series on exercise and bridging the gap between knowledge and doing, and that is developing an identity around movement.
Mhm.
So when you think about developing, if you haven't already had an identity with movement, what comes to mind that would feel difficult about that for our people listening or for your patients?
Mhm. Well, I think and it probably comes back to like, well, I don't have the time in my day to make it as important as I
Mm,
want it to be. Yeah. So
mhm.
I think the difficulty is, or if I'm in so much pain. It's hard for me to picture myself as somebody who exercises.
Mm.
Mhm.
Now the first part you mentioned, the time, that was the first topic that was our first episode in
Mhm.
this series about,
Mhm.
not having the things we tell ourselves about exercise, and
Mhm.
one of those was,
Yeah.
"I don't have time." Now, if you're a person who exercises or moves, or you're a person who enjoys tennis, then you are a person who doesn't have to make time. You build it into your schedule. It is who
Right.
you are. It's something
Yeah.
that you
Right.
do. Maybe not every day, maybe not for 5 hours a day, but you find ways to make it happen. Just like
Mhm.
quilters, people who love to quilt,
Mhm.
they find ways to quilt. People who read and they love to read, I'm a reader, they funny how there's always time for reading in their schedule,
Mhm.
right? And so developing that identity around, I'm the kind of
Right.
person who moves,
Yeah.
it suddenly is empowering you to
Mm.
move through the time constraint or to move through the
Mhm.
pain constraint,
Mhm.
the difficulty of movement. I was just listening to a podcast with a physical therapist between a physical therapist and an orthopedic surgeon, and this orthopedic surgeon has done thousands, tens of thousands of hip replacements and knee replacements, and he couldn't emphatically enough express the need for movement even when you're in pain. Like, now we're talking about, like,
Mm.
if you're a little arthritic or a little achy, not injury, but, actually, the more movement you do, the better you are with arthritis, the longer you'll be
Mhm.
able to keep your own joints.
Right.
The
Yeah.
the worst advice for someone with arthritis is to stop moving, is to rest.
Right.
That's the worst
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah. Motion is lotion, as they say. Motion
Motion is
is
lotion.
lotion. Yeah. You're move it or lose it. Right. Because, yeah,
Yeah,
the more you move, the more you will move. The more
right.
you move, the more you'll be able to move.
Right,
Right.
and he really
Yeah.
expressed the health of the joints is directly connected to metabolic disorders, and they deteriorate the joints. I think sometimes we separate a joint, or a
Mhm.
knee, or your ligaments, or your shoulder as like the structure of your body, and
Mhm.
that it's different than your pancreas or your
Mm.
insulin or your
Mhm.
brain or your
Mhm.
gut
Mhm.
microbiome, but it's
Right.
not.
It's all
These
together, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. These
Yeah.
joints are fed
Mhm.
by your
Mhm.
blood system, by your lymphatic system, by,
Mhm.
the whole
Mhm.
system is the whole system. And
Yeah.
so, um, the health of our blood and our gut microbiome, it all impacts the joints. So that
Mhm.
that kind of
And
puts
then
things
and
into
then the movement of the joint, that kinda, it's a two-way street, right? Yeah.
Right. Right, right. He talked
Yeah.
about, movement actually flushing through.
Mhm.
When you move, it flushes the joints. We need to
Sure.
remove
Yeah.
old fluid, whatever that means. It's like
Mhm.
a lube job. You need to get a
Yeah.
lube job. And we do that by
Right.
moving.
Yeah, so I need to reframe then. One of the ways then um, is, visualizing and then identifying and then reframing what exercise is.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
not, so maybe it's become this bad word or this
Mm.
negative word. So I have to reframe um, how good it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm,
how it serves you, how it's
mhm,
working for you and
mhm,
doing things for you.
mhm,
And really that comes back to, identifying the value that you do have. What do
mhm,
you want? What do you want your joints to be able to do today? What do you want them to do in 5 years and in 20 years? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have?
mhm,
What kind of, and this is kind of becoming a bigger topic too, is this concept of prehabilitation that
mm,
we focus so much on rehabilitation. You get an
mm.
injury and you go to rehab or you go to
Right.
PT afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's the shape that you're in when you go into a
Mm.
tough season of illness, injury, or
Mhm,
surgery?
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and and so often the results that people get from surgery or from these really hard trying medical issues is not because of the procedure itself or
Mhm.
the illness itself. It's the shape of the system going into it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the shape
Yeah.
of the body going into
It's
it.
so true. So we help a lot of people who need like a knee replacement and they have
Right.
to get to a certain BMI or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's not just the BMI. It's
Mhm.
not just the weight loss. It is tuning up. It is prehab. What we do prehab work.
Right.
Yes, to get nutrition
Mhm.
optimized. Vitamin, like vitamin D and
Mhm.
protein and fiber and the microbiome. If you go into a surgery tuned up, um, then yeah, your outcome is going to be much better.
Right,
Mhm,
right. Lower risk of all of the blood clots and healing disorders and infections, and a better
mhm,
chance that if it's a joint replacement, for instance, that the joint replacement takes and
mhm,
heals, and you get back up as quickly as possible and get
mhm.
to the physical therapy and the
Yeah, yeah,
rehabilitation afterwards.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah, that's so
so now,
interesting. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, it's so interesting that word prehab because
Mhm.
even the new guidelines for heart disease and they're talking. We used to start 40 years old or 50 years old once upon a
Mhm.
time at
Yeah.
a screening. Now they're thinking, oh no, we need to start a lot earlier and
Right.
to look forward because it's the lifetime exposure of some of these
Right.
things that causes the problems, and so this is prevention. Yeah.
Right, this is the true definition of prevention.
Mhm,
This is, starting before the disease process has started, or
mhm,
catching it in its earliest stages. And
mhm,
yeah, we know that we can find atherosclerosis and heart disease, the beginnings, and even Alzheimer's, the plaques. They don't start in your 40s and 50s.
mm-mm.
They start in your 20s. They
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
evidence of this in our 20s.
mhm,
Yeah, so I'm with you. I like this term. It's a new term to me. It's a new concept I haven't really thought of or defined or kind of really put thought to of prehab,
mhm,
prehabilitation. So what this becomes, so how I'm thinking about it when we're talking about this identity of exercise and reframing what exercise does for me, I'm thinking I'm 51 years old. I'm getting older. That's all I'm doing is getting older every year, right? And so there's going to come a point where I'm going to need something, or I'm going to hit some sort of a health problem at some point. And what I'm doing right now is prehab. I'm
mhm,
prehabilitating my body right now so that if I fall and break my leg, if I need a hip replacement at some point, if I have a huge illness setback, some sort of illness that hits me, my body goes into it in as good a shape as possible so that I can come out of it in good enough shape to keep going with my life, to have that other end of the life.
Yeah,
That changes it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not something that necessarily I have to do, but it's something that I want to do,
Right.
to help me today and tomorrow. Yeah.
Right. Right. So that reframing suddenly becomes a different, it's putting you in the driver's seat. You're in control and really kind of helping um, with identity. So now, and we can tie this in, right? Because now I'm the kind of person who moves, but not only for my mental health and because it feels good and because it's beautiful, but also because I'm prehabilitating. I'm I'm giving my body what it needs to be in good shape for something that comes my way.
Yeah.
And that's an identity that becomes like a self-empowering internal
Mhm.
motivator, not
Yeah.
somebody saying, Rachel, you have to exercise.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Whenever anybody tells me something I have to do, that's when I'm like, you and what army? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm that kind of rebel.
hmm I think most of us are really.
Yeah.
It's so, some of us more than others, but
Mhm.
um, it really, the external motivation really
Mhm.
only helps when it's, if you don't do this today, you're going to die of a heart attack tomorrow. Though we
Right.
can get
Yeah.
scared
That fear.
straight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what the research shows is it doesn't last very long.
No. Yeah.
We walk the straight and narrow for a little while, and then our own autonomy
Mhm.
takes over. So it has to be built
Yeah.
from within.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. All right. Well, I'm hoping that people are listening and then just thinking about ways that they enjoy moving their bodies and looking forward to spending some more time outside. Gorgeous day today.
Yeah.
And yeah. So Rachel, what did you take for you in your
Yeah.
camping? What
Made a couple of some of the easiest things for us camping. I love is like soups or stews or like one pot things. I can freeze them and then they help keep the fridge cooler or the cooler, cold while it's slowly thawing. So we have a really yummy bean soup, kind of like a chili, but not really like a chili. And then some yummy homemade double fermented sourdough bread to go with it. That's dinner
double
tonight.
ferment, double.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I made a stew yesterday that had chickpea and eggplant. I probably talked about it before. It's a Moroccan stew. It's absolutely delicious and all kinds of yummy herbs and spices. And then, and so that's for dinner, but more importantly, what's for dessert?
Ooh. What'd you make?
I'm making my mango coconut ice cream.
Oh, I've had this before, haven't I?
Yes.
I think I have. Oh, in your ice cream maker.
Yeah. So it's coconut cream, milk and mango and dates and
Oh my
a little
goodness.
vanilla and maybe a little bit of lemon zest in
Oh,
there.
yes. That sounds so, so good. So, you don't have to have an ice cream maker to make things like this. If you have a high-speed blender, my daughter made berry sorbet the other night, and she said it was just the 3-berry frozen mix from Costco, a little bit of water, and I think a little bit of almond milk or something. And some monk fruit, and then just zip that into her high-speed blender, and it was gorgeous. It was a deep purple. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, you enjoy your time out there, Rachel. I might be over in Bend sometime this weekend. Yes. Yeah. We're coming down to, the final 4 weeks before my daughter's getting married, before the wedding.
Yes.
So I might be taking quite a few trips over there.
Yeah. Okay. Getting everything prepped and staged and set up and final details. How exciting.
All right. Well, enjoy your time.
Thank you. You too. We'll see you next week, guys.